What's going on, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. This is Web Dev Journey, and in today's video we're going to be talking about tracking your requests.
おはよう、今日は快便でしたね。
よし、今日は鍵 OK。
おはよう、昨日より快便でしたね。
And you might be wondering, why should we be tracking our requests? Well, there are several reasons, right? But I'm gonna just give you a few. Bottlenecks, performance issues, and also when our application fails, you want to know what request made that, made our application crash, right? So bottlenecking and performance issues, they're kind of the same thing, right? If you find a bottleneck, just saying that, hey, how can we overpass this, or a performance issue, a request is taking a long time to complete. Why is that? This is going to help you. This tracking your request is going to help you on how, right? Because it's going to track everything from the user going all the way to a microservice, that microservice going to the database going to another database. I have no idea, right? I have no idea. But whatever the request is, it will tell you exactly what's happening during that request and where the bottleneck or performance issue is at. Now, as far as the application crashes, we all know that when an application crashes, it does give you an error stack, which is a good thing to solve the problem. But the thing is, it never tells you what request was made to cause that error. It doesn't tell you that, and that might be something that you need to know, so that way you prevent crashes later on down the road. So these are some examples why you would want to track your requests. But enough talk. Let's actually get into it. Well, there's actually going to be more talking, but let's start getting into this, right? So we're going to be using OpenTracing. Now, OpenTracing itself is a standard, and that standard gives you a dashboard view of all the data. But as a standard, it needs to have an implementation, right? And there are several implementations you could use to track your requests. Now, if I go to the CNCF, which stands for Cloud Native Computing Foundation, and they call this a landscape. If I go to the landscape, by the way, guys, I will have this in the description down below, because if you want to do something else cloud natively, you could look here and be like, what services can I use? Streaming and messaging, schedule and orchestration, service proxies, security and compliance. You could do a lot of things. So I'll leave this down below so that way you can look at it. But anyways, over here in observability and analysis, let me actually zoom in this. Over here, we've already done monitoring, Prometheus and Grafana. We haven't done logging, so if you want to do it on your own, we're not going to do it because the project doesn't call for logging. This cloud native project doesn't do logging. But over here, tracing, this is where it's at, tracing. So like I said, OpenTracing is a standard, and what we need to implement something, right? We need to add implementation, and there's two implementations here that are very popular, Jaeger and Zipkin. Okay, now we're going to be using Zipkin, and the only reason for that is because if we actually look at the GitHub, this project uses Zipkin. Okay, so we're going to be using Zipkin. I'm a Jaeger guy myself. I use Jaeger, but we're going to be using Zipkin. Okay, so there is something I do want you to understand about Zipkin, because this is going to it's going to show you things that you're going to need to understand before we even get started, because I'm gonna be talking about things and you're gonna be like, what the hell is he talking about? So I need to get this. I need to address those issues right off the bat. So Zipkin, here's an example of the architecture for the Zipkin. Okay, and the only thing that I want you to know is that there is a collector, which is basically the database where you're going to be sending the data, right? The collector is a place you're going to be sending the data to, okay? And then the UI is a place where you get that fancy dashboard where you can see all the data. But it goes to the collector first. We need to send the data to the collector first. It saves it into the database. It processes every request, gives you all that information that you want to, and then it sends it out to the UI. So the only reason I'm telling you this is because Zipkin, when you install it with Kubernetes, you're going to get two services. You're going to get two things. You're going to get the collector, and and then you're going to get the UI, okay? That's the thing that I want you to understand. The collector is where you send the data, and the UI is where you're going to see, that dashboard. You already know what a UI is. There's no point in telling you that. But I will leave this in the description down below, so that way you could, figure out or look at Zipkin a little bit more. What else can you do with Zipkin and all that stuff. But I wanted to get this out of the way because this is going to be very important down the road, okay? All right, so let's actually start coding, okay? So if you go back to the project, down below, we are going to need to install @metric Zipkin. So copy this, go to your application, npm I, @metric Zipkin. Now, like I said, they are using Zipkin, so we're going to be using it. I don't even know why I'm saying that so many times. Now let's go back to the browser, and over here, it does give you a way to implement this bit of code. So just grab this over here in our code. Where I'm going to be doing it is going to be in the bin run file, and right above the @metric Prometheus, that's where I'm going to be adding it. And I'm gonna change this to a const, okay? Now they do have options right here. These are options. So as for me, like I like being somewhat neat, right? So I'm gonna get rid of these options, and I'm actually going to put those options in the config file. So config index.js right here. I'm gonna add them to all three. Let me get rid of this. I'm gonna add them to all three: the development, production, and the test. I'm gonna call it Zipkin. I'm gonna give it a property of Zipkin, and we're going to just paste that. What's it called? Options right there. Now, these options, obviously, the host, where Zipkin is going to be hosted. Like I said, in the architecture, it needs some place to save that data, the collector, right? So the collector is actually a server. So we need to tell it where's the server hosted at, right? Right now, obviously, it's going to be localhost, and the default port for the collector is 9411. And then you could actually give it a service name, okay? You could give it a service name, whatever you want to name it. For right now, I'm gonna just name it. I'm actually going to name it Dogcat, so that way it could be somewhat unique, right? So that way you can see it. But you can name it whatever you want, okay? And the sample rate, we're gonna get rid of it because we don't really need it. Just get rid of it. All right. Now that we have our options of Zipkin inside this config file, over here we do need to pass it in. All right. So I'm gonna move my config variable on top, so that way I could use it. Config.zipkin. There we go. All right. So now we have Zipkin in our application with just one line of code. This is going to send all the data and give us a pretty UI. Okay. Now, to actually test that we did it correctly in our local host, we are going to be running Zipkin locally on our local machine. So luckily for us, they have a Docker image that we could use. So if we just type in docker run, don't worry about it. If you don't have it, it's going to install the image first and then run the image. So just type in docker run -d -p, because I just want to map my ports to their ports, so 9411 to 9411. And we're going to be grabbing the image open Zipkin /Zipkin. Okay. Hit that. Unable to find image. It's going to start pulling it. It's okay. Don't worry about it. This shouldn't take that long. And there we go. Now we have a running container with Zipkin. So we could actually see that if we go to our browser and go to localhost. What was it? 9411. And here it is. This is a dashboard that Zipkin gives us. Okay, it's pretty good. It's a good looking dashboard. Now, we don't have any traces of anything because our application, the one that's supposed to be sending data to Zipkin, isn't even running. So we do need to run that first. Man, my throat. So npm start. All right, our application is running. We don't have any errors, which is a good thing. So let's go over here and actually go to localhost 3000 now. And we're going to make several requests. We're going to go to /user. We're going to go to /to-do. And that's it. I'm not going to make that many requests, right? So if we head over to Zipkin, hit this plus button. And you're going to see that you're going to have some options. This is to query. So we want to find the application with the service name of, what was it? Dogcat. So I'm gonna hit that, go over here, we're gonna hit that, run query, and there we go. Check that out. We have our application, and it's tracking every request that we get with that application. You can see that we have to do, you can see that we have the user, and we can see that we have the homepage, which is really, really cool, right? This is going to start tracking all the requests being made with this one application, right? Obviously in Kubernetes, we're going to have several instances, well, just two in this for right now, 2 instances, and it's going to track all the requests between those 2 instances, which is a really good thing, correct? All right, now I do want to mention one thing. Localhost right now is actually setting, and the port, right? You saw that the port was 9411 for our UI and for the collector, all right? So when you're running it with Docker, it actually does give you, the collector and the UI does run on the same port. So that's okay. Don't worry about that. But you're going to see that in Kubernetes, that's not the case, okay? Because if you go back to the browser, I want to clear this up right now. If you go back to the browser, go to Zipkin or the GitHub and scroll down just a bit, and it says right here, using Zipkin with Node.Js and Kubernetes, right? And it tells you, hey, Kubernetes does set up a an environment variable for Zipkin. So they're telling you to use the process environment variable of Zipkin _ service _ host. All right. Now I'm gonna tell you, this is wrong. I don't know, for me anyways, I don't know what happened, or they haven't updated their docs, but this is wrong. Okay, and I'm gonna show you exactly what's happening. Like I said, in Kubernetes, the port numbers for the collector and the UI, they're different. So we do need to figure out what is the host and the port for the collector. Okay, we do need to figure that out, because we do need to put that in our configurations right here before we actually go into Kubernetes, because that's where it's going to be sending all the data, right? And if Kubernetes doesn't have the host and the port number of the collector, where is it going to be sending the data? We're going to get errors. So we do need to figure that out first, okay? And it does tell you over here in GitHub, it does tell you some ways to figure it out, and we are going to be using these commands, okay? But first of all, we do need to set up Zipkin with Kubernetes, and then we'll get into this, all right? So in order to do that, let's go back. I'm actually going to stop this because we don't need it no more. We figured it does work in our application, so we are all good. Why doesn't it want to clear? I really hate when that happens. Anyways, all right. So to figure out, to actually install charts for Zipkin, or install the things that we need for Zipkin, we go to artifact hub, artifact hub.io, and in here we're going to type in OpenTracing, and we're going to get three things. But like I said, we're not using Jaeger, we're using Zipkin. Okay, so click on Zipkin. You are going to need to install the repository and then the chart as well. I already have the repository, so the only thing I'm going to be installing is the chart. So I'm going to just copy this, head on over. Well, actually, I need to open up a PowerShell because I ran into problems with this. So file. Yes. All right, here we go, PowerShell. So what I'm gonna do is insert that, but I want to rename it just to Zipkin. I don't want it to say my Zipkin. I just want Zipkin. Hit enter, and there we go. Now, like I said, it does give you 2 things. Kubernetes is going to give you 2 things. Here's the UI. Here's the command to run the UI, and here's the command to run the collector. As you can see right here, component, right here, if you go over here, component is collector, and over here, component is UI. Okay, so here's the, like I said, here's the command for the UI, and here's the command for the collector. But like I said, look at this. They're running in different ports, okay? You can see it very below. They are running in the same port, but they're going to be forwarding the collector to 9411, and the UI is actually running on 8080. Okay, that's what we need to figure out. That's exactly what we need. Okay, but like I said, Kubernetes does give process environment environment variables for these type of things. So we do need those environment variables. Ooh, that's kind of hard to say. So luckily for us, if you go back down here, it does give you, hey, how we could actually grab those, right? So if you just grab kubectl get pods, this is going to give you all the pods that Kubernetes has right now. So right now we have quite a bit of pods, right? Zipkin, Prometheus, nodeserver, and Grafana. And look at this, we have that Zipkin collector right there. So this is what we're going to need, because in the other, right here, copy this, go over here, paste it in there. We're going to get the pod name, delete this, and we're going to paste in, oh man, God. We're going to paste in that pod, that name, this one, the Zipkin collector. And then for grep, okay, for grep, Mac and Linux, you could actually use grep. For Windows, you need to find str, okay? And then service, let's actually change this to Zipkin. If you hit enter, it's going to give you all the environment variables for Zipkin, okay? So we have a lot of them right here. This is a lot, right? So we don't really need all these things. We could actually lower it, or what's it called? Focus more into the Zipkin collector, because we do need the environment variable for Zipkin underscore collector. All right. And there's actually going to be called Zipkin underscore collector service underscore port. And the other one is going to be Zipkin collector service host. So what I'm going to do is just going to copy Zipkin collector service, copy this, clear this out. And I'm going to just rerun that with that new find string Zipkin collector service, hit enter, and we should have, yeah, look at this. We only have 3 now, which is really good. We have the port right here, and here's the host. But the important thing is that here is all the port numbers, or the environment variables that we're going to need. Here's the environment variable for port, and here's the environment variable for host. If I copy that, paste it right there. Oh, it doesn't show it because it doesn't. Never mind. Screw it. Just ignore what I just did. Anyways, those are the environment variables. Okay, so let's actually use those. So I'm gonna just copy this. That's the port. Go over here. And by the way, guys, when Kubernetes runs your application, it's actually running the production configuration. So if you're going to do anything, you need to do it under production. So what was that for the host? So we're going to just put that environment variable right here. So process.env dot whatever, what is it? It was a port. Well, this one is just called host, so I'm just changing it to host. And this one is process.env dot Zipkin collector service port. Okay, awesome. And I'm actually going to change the service name from .cat to I'm gonna just say wdj underscore node server. Get rid of that cat. All right, there you go. So this is going to be my service name for my production, wdj node server. You can name it whatever you want, like I said, but you will need to know what this service name is, because that's what we're going to be looking for in Zipkin, right? All right. Now that we have everything set up in our application, we need to package this up for Docker. So, damn it, that's not working. So clear. Now, we need to package this up. So Docker build -t. We're gonna tag it node server -run. We've done this so many times, man. You should know what we're doing, right? So we're going to build it up, giving it a tag of nodeserver -run. The file we're going to be running is dockerfile -run, and we're going to be building the current directory. Hit enter, and you should be building it, and it should be very fast for you if you have the previous Docker server run. If you have the previous Docker server run, it should be pretty fast. If you don't, then it's going to take a while. But as you saw, it was fast. Now what we need to do is actually push this up to Docker Hub, because I don't know if you guys use mine or not. You don't have to push it up, but I always push it up because you might be using my image and I'm not too sure. So I just want to have it up there just in case. So Docker tag, we want to tag the node server -run, and we want to tag it with my namespace wdj web dev journey dash node server, and then we're going to give it the 1.3.0 because we added a new feature. Hit enter. So if we do docker images, we should have that. Here it is right there, 1.3. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And let's just push it up. I'm gonna just say push. Alright, so it doesn't matter if it's pushing don't worry about it. It's gonna push, and if you want to use it, go ahead and use it, okay? Alright, now that we have our image up in now that we have our 1.3, our latest build of our node server, we got to tell Kubernetes we're gonna start using that. So go over to your application and to the charts node server, the values. We need to tell Kubernetes, hey, we're no longer using the 1.2. We're going to be using the 1.3 version of the WDJ node server. Control save this. I'm actually going to be running one instance, just for simplicity's sake. And yeah, that's it. That's it for this. So now we just need to tell Helm, hey Helm, we've not here. Hey Helm, we've done some things, so we just want to, upgrade. Helm upgrade. We just want to upgrade our node server, and we want to upgrade using the charts in the node server folder. And there you go. So clear. Now we have that up and going, but last thing we need to do is we need Zipkin up and running. We haven't really ran Zipkin. So if I do Helm status or Helm status Zipkin, it's going to give you, like I said, commands to run, so that way you could run your application or Zipkin, right? So we don't need to run this the collector, because like I said before, they're both running on the same port, but the collector is just running on, they're just mapping it to 9411. So by running just the first command, the UI, we're going to be running both of them at the same time. So it does not really matter. So you don't have to do the second one. But we do need to run this. Okay, so let's just grab this, do it the way you've always done it. So for Windows, you better make sure you have that $sign. Hit enter, and then right here, grab this right there. All right, as you can see, it's actually running it. So now what we need to do is just make sure we could actually get to it. So if we go to over here, instead of 3000, it said 8080. Let's go to 8080. Hopefully, oh man, okay, there it is. I just had to press enter one more time. Don't know why it does that, but look at that. We got localhost 8080, and here's my Zipkin application. Now, the real test is to go to our what's it called? Our actual application. So what was my port? 341? No, 3114. Oh, there you go. 31149. So 31149. And this is the one that's being run by Kubernetes. Now, if you forgot your port number, it's pretty easy to just use that same command that I always gave you. If you go back over here, I gotta open up another terminal. Well, you know the command, right? I'll just give it to you right here. Well, it's going to be down in the description. Just use that command for your node server, and it should give you the port number that you're on. But let's go back to my browser. All right, so let's just make a couple of requests. So to user, I'm going to make an error request. I'm going to just go to, error. And it shouldn't get nothing. Yeah, cannot get error. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. So this is not the one. This is the one, 8080. All right. So we made some requests. So Zipkin should have kept track of those things. So we just refresh just for good measure. Hopefully everything. Why is it loading? Okay, there it is. I gotta keep on hitting enter. I don't know why I gotta keep on hitting enter. Anyways, we're gonna be searching for the service name that is. Look, it auto detected that. Hey, WDJ node server is sending me data. So here's one of them. So if I click on that and hit the search button right here, look at this. What? It gives you everything. It's freaking amazing. And we're going to do the last minute or so. We're going to grab everything that was in the last minute or so, and we should see our request. Let me actually, okay, we don't. So let's actually do it again. Let's actually make some requests. But notice that it is keeping track of all the requests being made. Remember, we're doing /check/live to see if it's alive, and it should have /check/ready somewhere around here. It should have it. But we know that it's making it because look at this. It's actually going to google.com. It's making requests to google.com. Anyway, let's go for it. So /error /user /to-do. All right, that's enough. Let's go back. Let's hit that search button one more time. Go down below. Oh God, come on. Oh, there it goes. The /to. Oh, you saw that, right? You saw that. Man, it gets hard. There goes the /error. There goes the /to-do. Nope. But you know, so it's actually /user. There it is. So this actually is tracking our request, which is a very good thing, man. I'm just amazed that I did this in the first go. I really am. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. We've implemented our what's it called? Let me actually check if that's hub docker. Let me actually check if my image is in here because I want you guys to actually have it. And it is 1.3. There it is, right there. All right, awesome. So there you go, guys. This is what we've done today, and actually this is the last video. We've implemented tracking or request tracking for your application. Now, anything that you see or any request that you get from your application, you're going to be able to see it right here. Obviously, you could filter this way more if you really wanted to, but like I said, here's Zipkin, so that way you could look it over, see what else you could do with it, and all those things, right? We're not going to go into details about Zipkin. We're not. That's not the video for that. But that's it, guys. This is the last video for this series. We've implemented every single little thing on this project. We went from health checking to tracking your requests to tracking or monitoring your application, your servers, your CPU and all that stuff. We built our images. We've deployed everything using Kubernetes. We are done. We've done it, guys. We have done it. It's freaking awesome. I hope you enjoyed this series because it was somewhat of a pain to do. I'm not gonna lie. But thank you guys for watching my videos. Thank you for supporting me. I really do appreciate you guys spending your time watching my videos. It means a lot to me. So thank you guys. And yeah, man, welcome to the cloud native world, I could say. Welcome to the cloud native world. All right. I hope you enjoy this journey on the cloud native world because it's a big boy. Look at this. It is a huge, massive boy. Look at that. Look at all these texts you could be using, man. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the journey, man, because you're going to need to enjoy it to like understand a lot of the cloud native world. All right. So good luck with it, guys, and I will see you in the next series, whatever that may be. Bye.